Well, one of the country's oldest landmarks is getting a facelift. Clean Skies' Dipka Bhambhani is here to tell us about the U.S. Capitol going green. Dee.
That's right, Susan. Capitol Hill is quiet, but the House is moving full force on more projects to help green the Capitol. Projects that'll save energy, but will cost taxpayers millions. For the past 2 years, the House of Representatives has been trying to make an example of itself, converting its grounds into a microcosm of a new energy-conscious America. It's turning cafeteria trash into compost, using plant-based water bottles instead of petroleum-based ones, and within a year will use natural gas, not coal, to power the Capitol Power Plant.
Every possible, energy savings or sustainability issue that we come across that we feel we can turn into, sort of a systemic opportunity, we do.
The force behind Green the Capitol is Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She said she wants the House to lead the country by example. But Ventura said Pelosi's 2-year-old brainchild will cost taxpayers the other kind of green and may not provide a return on investment for a decade.
It's not free. It costs money to have a qualified company come in and design the new lighting structure for an international symbol that's so important. Do the new lights pay for the project in a year, 2 years? No, they don't. If you're going to make the right environmental decision, chances are you're going to be spending some money up front to do the right thing.
Allison Rogers, program manager for the Green the Capitol initiative, said determining energy savings might also take a decade.
We're right now in the process of assessing meters. If you can believe it, there were not well-working meters at the beginning of this initiative. So one of the first things we did was, working with the architect of the Capitol, have meters installed on the buildings that can give us the information to assess, how are the buildings working, and to track those energy reductions that we are hoping to create.
According to the General Accountability Office, the Green the Capitol initiative will cost Americans millions of dollars, up to $8 million to convert the power plant alone, and several $100,000 to make the smaller changes, including changing the utensils in the House eateries. Rogers said some of the fruits will take longer to harvest, but some of the benefits of going green are visible.
One of the staff had said, we send out refrigerators on a regular basis when members of Congress and their staff don't want to clean those refrigerators and they want a new one instead. And so what she decided to do was find a local green cleaner that cleaned the refrigerators, and we sent it back, which obviously is saving money since we don't have to buy new fridges every time someone doesn't want to clean it, and obviously is having a green aspect with the cleaning as well.
Water bottles made of plants and utensils made of recycled materials, the government is well on its way to going green. But nowhere will it be more evident than the Capitol dome itself. Already, the House has replaced more than 10,000 incandescent light bulbs across its buildings, saving the government, the largest energy consumer in the country, 1.1 million kilowatt hours of electricity. But the big ticket item will cost taxpayers up to $1 million. The goal is to replace nearly 100 incandescent light bulbs in the House's dome with energy efficient ones. Steve Ellis, spokesman for the Taxpayers for Common Sense, thinks the House needs to stop selling the renovations to its buildings as greening it. He says, let's not try to masquerade it. Let's not call it a greening initiative when it's a brightening initiative. I think the House should lead the way on energy efficiency, but economic energy efficiency. Doing something just because it looks good isn't necessarily the right thing. Steve Nadell, executive director of the American Council for an Energy Efficient Economy, said replacing heat-emitting, energy-inefficient incandescent bulbs with a more efficient variety takes some time, but is worth the investment.
Just by changing your light bulbs, you can probably reduce your electric bill by maybe 15%. Your typical incandescent light lasts about 1,000 hours. This will have to replace them a few times a year, given how much they illuminate the dome. Compact fluorescent lasts 8 to 10,000 hours, depending on the bulb. The LEDs can last 50,000 hours. So you're saving energy, but you're having to replace them less often. You're also having to pay a guy to go up the ladder. I imagine going up to the Capitol and changing bulbs is not, takes some time, and you're paying that guy, 20 bucks an hour or whatever it is. So there's savings there as well.
Rogers promises the installation will be a mesmerizing treat for visitors to the nation's capital. One that will replace the drab lighting that's been on the dome for 20 years, and one that will help the house reach its end goal, to cut its energy consumption by 50% by 2014. Now, the next step for the House is greening the members' offices. The cost of the entire Green the Capitol initiative is still a big question mark, though. The GAO predicts the power plant could reach more than $8 million, the dome another $1 million, but the smaller changes are harder to aggregate. That's what the House said, Susan.
So, Dee, the House is doing all this greening. Where is the Senate in all of this?
That's actually a sticky point. The Senate has not given approval to do the dome project yet. The Senate has its version of the House's outfit. It's called the Rules Committee, but it's nothing like what the House has for infrastructure administration, so we're still waiting to see. Now, it's worth noting that the Energy Policy Act of 2005 only required the government to reduce its energy consumption by 2% a year, up to 20% after 10 years. But the Energy Policy Act of the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007 required a 30% energy reduction across the government. So this is pretty aggressive.
So what are specific changes happening to the Capitol dome lighting?
Well, right now there are 38 fixtures. That's the big ticket item, is changing the fixtures for those bulbs. And we're going to install, well, they're going to install 128 fixtures for the Statue of Freedom and 44 for the dome itself. And this is the first time fixtures will help reveal architectural details in a new way on the dome. At least that's what they promise. Okay. And the current lighting, the dome lighting, actually, it's worth noting also that it uses 43,000 watts, and the House estimates that the new design will use only 14,000 watts, which would save about 70% of energy.
All right, we'll keep tracking those changes at the Capitol. Dee Bhambhani, thank you.